सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। इयं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः शृण्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। I wish you very happy Deepavali and I really appreciate your interest in Bhagavad Gita. In spite of having these festivals, you are here. I really appreciate. So we'll chant from sloka number 38. I will chant, you can repeat. अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषम् मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषम् प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्माः सनातनाः धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नम् अधर्मो विभवत्युत। As we have seen earlier, the main teaching of Srimad Bhagavad Gita starts from the 11th verse of the second chapter. Before that, the background is given for this teaching to take place. And that background is in the form of a story describing the problem of samsara. Arjuna has entered into the battlefield where both the armies are standing facing each other. Arjuna's chariot was placed between the two armies by the Lord Krishna, and he saw all the relatives in both the armies. And seeing the relatives, his attachment for the relatives was surfaced. It was there, but it got surfaced. Many of our emotions, they are there, but they don't get surfaced until we get appropriate situation. And that is what happened to Arjuna. And because of attachment, intense attachment, the very thought of separation from them caused sorrow. And sorrow was so intense that it got percolated at the physical level. When any emotion very strong, when it is very strong, it gets expressed at the physical level. If it is mild emotion, it remains only at the mental level. People may not even know. But when emotions are very strong, intense, then get percolated. And that's what happened to Arjuna. Arjuna described the intensity of sorrow he was experiencing by saying that I am not able to stand, the bow is dropping down. All those things he expressed. And when this attachment, raga and shoka are there, then there will be another issue, another problem, and that is moha. Moha means confusion. Confusion regarding right and wrong. Right will be seen as wrong, wrong will be seen as right. And that is what happened to Arjuna. And Arjuna's moha and moha based arguments are being described in these verses. And Arjuna said in the first set of arguments, he gives two sets of argument. First set of arguments is that by killing the relatives in this war, I am not going to be happy. Outcome is not going to be pleasant for me. Swajanam hi katham hatva sukhinasyama madhava. By killing our relatives, how can we be happy? So that was his one set of arguments based on personal happiness. Now, from the 38th shloka, he is giving second set of arguments. And that is from the angle of society based on the Dharma Shastra. Sociological angle based on Dharma Shastra. And he is saying, first of all, he is saying that Duryodhanas and other people, they are not able to see the harmful consequences of this war. And therefore, they are eager to fight. They are ready to fight. But we are fortunate enough, we are seeing the harmful consequences. And therefore, we should withdraw from war. Because war involves the engagement of both the parties. Like clapping can be done only by two hands. If one hand is not ready, then clapping is not possible. Only Zen clapping is possible. Clapping with one hand, they say. But real practical clapping doesn't happen. And therefore, Arjuna's thinking is that even though they don't understand, but we are understanding. That's what many times parents will tell the elder son. He said, your younger one is so small, he doesn't understand, but you are understanding, you should be careful. So Arjuna is giving that argument. Otherwise, somebody would have asked him, Arjuna, that, see, you are telling my relatives, and therefore I should not harm them. They also should think same way, because you are also their relatives. As you are so much concerned about your relatives, they also should see in the same manner, they also should have consideration for you. That is not happening. If somebody asks this question, Arjuna's answer is that whoever understands should make correction. I am understanding, we are understanding, therefore we should make correction. It is not a matter of whose mistake, it is a matter of whose life. It is something like if you are going by a boat, and in that boat, when 5-10 people are there, and you see some problem, and boatsman is very busy doing something else, you should not think, oh, it is a boatsman problem, why should I bother about it? Hey, it is your life also. It is not only boatsman life, your life. In fact, boatsman will not have problem because he will swim and will save himself. So, Arjuna says that why should we have such narrow consideration? Let us be broad-minded. Whoever finds the wrong thing, that person should correct. And therefore he said, they are not able to think correctly because their mind is overpowered by greed. When greed is there, then a person will not be able to think clearly. That is why many people lose money, lose relationship because of greed. Because greed clouds your thinking. Lobho pahata chetasaha. And because of greed, they are not able to see. Greed is the seed for many wrongdoings in life. हिंदी में बोलते हैं पाप का बाप कौन है? लोभ है. Who is the father of papam? Greed. Greed makes the person do wrong things. We see in the politicians' life, they have money but they want more. Ye dil mange more. And therefore what? They keep on doing wrong things and one day caught. Hopefully. And that's what Arjuna says, that because of greed, they don't think clearly. We are not under the spell of greed. Therefore, we are seeing the harmful consequences and therefore we should withdraw. And therefore he said in the 39th sloka, since we are saying, Katham nagdeyam asmabhihi papadashma nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyadbir janarjana. When we are seeing the dosha, the harmful consequences caused by kulakshaya, the destruction of family, then we should, as a mature person, mature people, we should withdraw from this war. And then in the next sloka, the 40th sloka, which we are seeing, he is describing what all will be the harmful consequences when families are destroyed. He said, Kulakshaye pranashyanti. When in this war, many warriors will be killed and they are the leaders of their family. So when the families are destroyed because of the destruction of the leaders of the family, kulakshaye sati pranashyanti. When the family is destroyed, then kula dharmaha, certain dharmas which are preserved by certain families, which are sanatanaha, long-lasting, they will be destroyed. Pujya Swamiji used to emphasize this point, that dharma can be protected when dharmi is protected. Dharma, right values, right actions, they can be protected only when dharmi, the person who is following, is protected. If you want to protect some art, what should you do? You should protect the artist. If you want to protect music, what should you do? You should protect musicians. If you want to protect the chanting of Vedas, what should you do? You should encourage the scholars. So this is an important part. Dharma is not a thing which can exist independently. Dharma is not preserved in the books. Dharma is preserved by the people who are following Dharma. So by protecting Dharmi, the people who are following Dharma, we can protect Dharma. So Arjuna's argument is, when family is destroyed, then the Dharmas which are followed by the families also would be destroyed. And what we mean by Kula Dharmaha, there are certain Vedas which are to be preserved by certain family. There are certain conventions. There are certain duties for the society followed by certain families. And those duties which were preserved by the families, generation after generation, those dharmas will be destroyed. And when dharma is destroyed, dharme nashte, when dharma is destroyed, then adharmaha abhibhavati. This is a very important principle. When right thing is destroyed, then the wrong thing will overpower. In our life, when right habits are not there, then wrong habits will overpower our life. You cannot have a state of vacuum. When right things go away, wrong thing will rush in, gush in, and occupy that space. Therefore, the people who have got some wrong habits, they should not focus too much on wrong habits. they should think about bringing new right habits. Because Swami used to say that we create a new circuit for our response, our way of thinking. Rather than bothering too much, I have bad thoughts, wrong thoughts. Don't think too much about that. Let me find out what is the right way of thinking, and you pay your attention, give your focus to right thinking, then slowly wrong thinking will be dropped. But if right thinking is not there, then wrong thinking, wrong ways of life will govern your life. Therefore, Arjuna said, Dharme nashte. When the dharma is destroyed, then adharma abhibhavati, overpowers Krishnam kulam, the entire family which is left out, which is remaining. After the heads of the families are gone, the remaining members of the family will be overpowered by adharma. And because of that overpowering by adharma, the whole family overpowered by adharma, what will happen? That is described in the next shloka. Adharma vibhavat Krishna Pradushyanti kulastriyah Strishu dushtasu varshneya Jayate varna sankarah. So here in these verses, Arjuna is talking about the importance of family. Little bit we saw in the last class. Just as for industrial growth, we require stable infrastructure. Industry can grow when there is stable internet supply, stable electricity supply, stable water supply. If those factors are there, infrastructure is there, then only industry can grow. Imagine every now and then power failure is there. Regular power supply is not there. Water is not supplied. Internet is not supplied. Then what? Industry will close down. In fact, many foreign countries, these companies, they go away. Because for industrial growth, what is required is this proper, stable infrastructure. Similarly, for national growth, we require stable government. Few years ago, we had this problem. The government was not stable. Like in UK, it is happening. Every 2-3 months, Prime Minister changes. Then they cannot have national growth. National growth is possible when there is stable government. Similarly, the growth of the society, growth of the individual, cultural growth, dharmic growth will be possible only when we have got stable families. In India, this importance of family was not understood or was not highlighted so much because we already had good family structure. Earlier, it was taken for granted. But now, in some cases, we are seeing that when stable family life is not there, families are not there, husband and father all the time quarreling, or there is they call dysfunctional home. When such family is there, where there is no stability, there is no security, then children cannot grow. Children can grow well when there is atmosphere of love, care and security. Every now and then this father and mother, they are fighting and telling, I will divorce you, I will divorce you. Child will be hearing this. Child feels very frightened. Because if father and mother, if they will be separated, what will happen to him? Because he needs both. Therefore, this family is a unit of society, and stable family is very much required for the growth of a child. Because any growth can happen, especially in earlier stage, when there is atmosphere of security, there is atmosphere of love and care. Otherwise, this moral values, this family traditions, all those things cannot be passed on to the next generation. And therefore, family was highly emphasized in our tradition. But the emphasis was only in practice, it was there. Verbally, it was not described because it was already in place. That is our nature. When anything is available, we take it for granted. When it goes away, then only we'll know. Like some people in our life, mother, father, etc., they were there. We did not recognize their importance. When they go away, we understand. So now that family structure is slowly getting dismantled in some cases, we are seeing the harmful consequences. Because when there is stable family, then only a person can pursue these four purusharthas. In Vedika Samskriti, this family life was seen as the means for pursuing these four purushartha, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Our Vedas are not against pursuing artha and kama. Artha means wealth, any means of security, kama means pleasure. Vedas are not at all against it. In fact, Vedas prescribe the means for getting artha and kama. But Vedas will say that you pursue your artha and kama not at the cost of dharma. Following the dharma, remaining in the bounds of dharma, you follow artha and kama. And for following artha and kama within the bounds of dharma will be possible when a person's life has got some stability. A person is guided by Shastra. A person is not having the atmosphere of insecurity, because insecurity makes the person compromise with dharma. Whenever people are insecure, they say anything, whatever I have to do, I will do it. And family atmosphere provides the atmosphere of security, and thereby dharma will be possible. Otherwise, the life of people will be based on artha and kama only. And it is as good as animal's life. Animal's life is governed by these two things: security, artha, and kama, pleasure. Some means for survival, artha, and some pleasure. So human beings will end up being equal to animals if their life is not governed by dharma. And for animals, if dharma is not there, no problem, because their life is programmed. And therefore they will go according to programming. So cows will not turn non-vegetarian because it went to some KFC or somewhere. It will not happen. Because their life is programmed. Naturally they will not eat non-veg. Programmed. But in case of human beings, there is no such programming completely. There is some programming, but not as much as it is there in human beings. Human beings have got free will. And when free wills are there, then options will be there. Options are there, then a possibility of choosing a wrong option will be there. And therefore, they require some norms. Wherever there is free will, some norms are required. If free will is not there, then norms are not required. But human beings have free will, and therefore norms are required. This ethics are required. And they can be inculcated in the atmosphere of love, care, and stability. And therefore, this family institute is very important. And it is found that people, those who go astray, those who are given to wrong things, many of them had dysfunctional home. They are able to connect this. And therefore, in our tradition, family, this kula was given importance and it was followed by us. And Arjuna is saying that this kula dharma, which is important for dharma, artha and kama, and also preparing for moksha, this kula dharma will be destroyed. Kula will be destroyed, therefore kula dharma will be destroyed. And therefore, we should not go for this war. His arguments are correct, but his arguments are coming out of his weakness, his attachment. And he is not able to see the bigger picture, that if dharma is not protected in larger way, then even though individuals, some families are protected, still there will be ruin of, there will be destruction of dharma. Because the main people who are supposed to rule the country, they themselves are corrupt. And therefore, we need to change, we need to bring a change at the higher level. And for that, some destruction is permissible. That part Arjuna is not able to see because of his attachment to the family. Otherwise, the points he is giving is correct, are correct. And here Arjuna said, adharma bhavat. When kula is destroyed, kula dharma will be destroyed. Kula dharma is destroyed, then adharma will overpower. And when adharma overpowers, what happens? Adharma bhavat. Hey Krishna, because of overpowering by adharma, because of adharma overpowering these families, kulastriyaha, the women of the families, pradushyanti, they are given to wrong practices. Here what is suggested is, when purpose of family is to follow dharma and even pursuing artha and kama in keeping with dharma, when dharma is given so importance for family, then compatibility is very important. That a person who will join me to follow dharma, that type of person is to be selected. That is why wife is called Saha Dharmacharini. It's a very beautiful name for wife. What is the meaning? Saha Dharmacharini means one who is accompanying in following dharma. And Vivaha was called Saha Dharmacharini Sanyogaha. Association with the person who will be accompanying in following dharma. And therefore, this compatibility was seen, whether other person will be able to join in following the dharma, which is followed by kula, which is followed by their varna, the class of the society. But when adharma is overpowering the life of a person, then money and pleasure alone will become the consideration for the partner. Which type of partner I want? The partner who has got lot of money, partner who can enjoy with me, he can take me to different countries. Nowadays, if we see the description that what type of partner a girl wants, I was once somewhere I read the minimum income should be 30 lakhs per year. He should not have a family bigger than 3 members. Like all these are the specifications. You can imagine what type of frame of mind is that. And he should be staying in this place only, this area. And who will take me to different countries. That is the consideration for marriage. Means what? Artha, money and enjoyment alone are the basis for selecting the partner. And therefore what will happen? Their life will be governed by only this consideration, therefore no consideration for dharma at all. Whatever remaining dharma, that also will go away. So when adharma overpowers, then women who are supposed to be the pillars of society, who are very important for the protection of dharma, they themselves will be given to wrong practice. We have seen that woman in the family is a very important, a mother or wife. They are very important parts of the family. If they are following these cultural norms, then culture will be passed on to the next generations. And those women themselves are given to wrong practices, then the remaining hope also will go away. These men folks have been killed, and women are given to adharma, and so there is no role model, there is no scope for practicing dharma. The children will not see any religious practices happening in the family. And dharma is learned more by seeing the practice rather than preaching. Non-verbal communication is more important than verbal communication in this matter. Dharma grows upon the person by seeing the people around who are following dharma, that grows upon us. The mother will be telling the child, see, Swamiji has come, do namaskara. It is not simply instruction. Mother herself will do namaskara for show, and then child also will do it. This temple is there, let us do namaskara. So these mothers will be training, and those women who are supposed to be following, preserving these family traditions, they themselves are given to wrong practices. Then what will happen? Strisu dushtasu. When women are given to wrong practices, then varna sankaraha jayate. Confusion in the society will be born. And confusion in the society can be seen in two ways. One is, in choosing the life partner, the compatibility will not be seen in terms of following dharma. Compatibility will be seen that how much educated he is, how much earning he has, and how much joy he can give me by taking me to different places. That will be the consideration. And therefore, this social compatibility, which is necessary for the stability of the society, that will not be there. In our Vedic culture, we had a system called Varnashrama Vyavastha. Varnashrama Vyavastha means following the duties in keeping with the class and the stage of one's life. So two are there. One is Varna Vyavastha, other is Ashrama Vyavastha. Vyavastha means the arrangement. The arrangement of or the allocation of the duties depending upon the class the person belongs to. We had 4 classes: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And it was a very grand scheme. Of course, it was not handled properly because of some greed of some people, because of some ragadveshas of some people, but otherwise, scheme was very good. In this scheme, the society has got people for all types of duties. Nowadays, what is happening? For some duties, we don't have people. For some duties, we have got so many people. For some government job, clerk or manager, for 100 posts, there is application of 200,000 applications come. But for the job of priest, we don't have people. Even the priest now doesn't want his son to become a priest. That type of situation has happened. We are not getting priests. The priests who are trained well, who have got the skill to do it, we are not getting. And for other jobs, we have so many people. So there is a imbalance in the society. Whereas in this Varna Vyavastha, the society in which the classification of duty called Varna Vyavastha, when it was followed, we had people for all kinds of jobs. We had Pujari is there, the carpenter is there, then the soldier is there, politician is there, administrator is there, unskilled labor is there, agriculturist is there, all are there. Otherwise, it is imbalance. How we have got imbalance in food? Some people take too much carbohydrates. Then all sugar problem will come. If too much protein is taken, then uric acid problem comes. They say. If too much fat is taken, you know what problem happens. The fat issue, the obesity, all this. Therefore, we require balanced diet. Everybody agrees with that. Similarly, in society also, we require balance of all the duties. That was the vision. And no duty is superior or inferior to anyone. That was a point highlighted. That every duty is as valid as any other duty in terms of your growth. Every duty is meant for your growth, and no duty is superior or inferior to any other duty. That is why Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the 18th chapter is going to say, Swakarmana tam abhyarcha. You worship the Lord by your duty. Don't try to change the duty. Whatever duty you are doing, do it well with dedication to Ishvara. That was our vision. Therefore, Pujari's karma is not superior to the sweeper's karma. Both are equal. What matters is the dedication person has. And that was the vision. That is called Varna Vyavastha. And Ashrama Vyavastha means depending upon the stage of life of a person, there are different duties. Brahmachari's duty is to study Shastra well. He should not spend time on earning money. This working for pocket money is not our culture. Joining the politics when a person is a student is not our culture. You can perhaps follow politics, means what is happening you can be aware. But joining the politics, this party or that party, and there are elections in the campus, and there are a lot of fight because of this election in the universities. And because of that, there is a lot of deviation, distraction from the main thing, which is study. And as a student, generally, a person is not supposed to earn. Earning was not there. You focus on your study, focus on your Guru Seva, focus on the Ashrama Seva, Gurukula Seva. No earning is entertained. No commercial activity for a student. And so person was focusing only on study, focusing on learning the lessons of life, that how one should lead one's life properly. That was taught there. By Guru and Guru's wife, they will be there in the Gurukulam, how they are leading their life. And that was a role model. And Gurus will be giving all practical tips, how Dharma is to be followed, and the Shastras were taught. And because of that, when a person comes out of the Gurukulam, he is a person who is ready to enter, who is qualified to enter into Grihasthashrama. See, nowadays we don't have any qualification for marriage, except the age bar is that 18 or 21, whatever. No qualification. In those days, unless Guru permits, the boy cannot enter into Grihasthashrama. That was that. Even nowadays, that some part of it is followed is when they have this marriage invitation, they write, with the blessings of the acharyas, this boy is getting married. That culture is there, still some part of it is maintained. Originally, after this graduation ceremony, which is called Snanam, Avabrata Snanam, after the Snanam only, this student is allowed to enter into Grihasthashrama. So indirectly it is like certified, Guru is certifying that this fellow is qualified to enter into Grihasthashrama. What a nice thing, So that we will have good Grihasthas. It's not that we require only good sannyasis, we require good grihasthas more than good sannyasis. And that was the brahmacharya ashrama dharma. What is the dharma of brahmachari? Gurukula seva, Guru seva, and studying the Shastra. Focused approach. And then when the person comes out, he enters into Grihastha Ashrama. The main sadhana for this Grihastha is Karma Yoga. And of course, studying the Shastras. Continue to study the Shastra. Continue to repeat the Shastra he has learned in Brahmacharya Ashrama. So that was the duty of a Grihastha householder, second stage of life. Then, by the time he becomes 55, 60, those days 50 itself. So 50, then he, by that time he is having the children, he gives all this responsibility to the children and he goes to the forest. Or he remains in the house, but he remains in outhouse. That ashrama is called Vanaprastha ashrama. In Hindi, this 51 is called Ekavan. So 1 means forest. So when you enter into 51, you go to what? Vana. Vana means forest. Bhavan. One. Vana. So person is supposed to do that. But nowadays marriage itself is happening at 40. So, so he cannot do it. So all this structure is broken. Anyway, so Vanaprastha ashrama, main dharma was tapas and upasana. Because a person has got lot of rajas when he is in Grihastha ashrama. That rajas is to be reduced. Rajas means that active mode is to be reduced. So in Vanaprastha, lot of maunam, upavasa and meditations. These upasanas. And then after some time, a person takes the life of sannyasa. And what is sannyasa for? Sannyasa is for Jnana Yoga. So Brahmacharya Ashrama is for learning the Shastra, learning the way of life. What is the ideal way of life? He learns in Brahmacharya Ashrama itself. And then Grihastha Ashrama, Karma Yoga more. And then Vanaprastha Upasana and Sannyasa Ashrama, predominance is of Jnana Yoga. Sannyasa life is bent only for Jnana Yoga, nothing else. Nowadays people accept, oh, you are a sannyasi, so you should do this, you should do this. Sannyasi doesn't have any such duty. Sannyasi is bent only for Shastra Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That is his or her main duty. Other thing he does, it is extracurricular activities, and that he or she can do when this Jnana Yoga has been utilized properly, thoroughly. And thus, as per the stage of life, there are various duties. And that is called Ashrama Vyavastha. And that Varnashrama Vyavastha will be followed when stable family is there. And if stable family is not there, there is nobody to guide. And therefore what will happen? All considerations in doing activities, making the choices will be based on Raga Dvesha only. And therefore what will happen? Varna Sankaraha, confusion of the society. Because of improper choice of life partner, one thing. And because there is no consideration for the protection of dharma, artha and kama alone will be the deciding factor for doing the duties. And therefore what? Varna Sankaraha, confusion of the society, confusion of these classes of society in terms of duties. As I said, there is imbalance of the duties. For some duties many people, some duties no person. Even in the field of education, now they say that pure science people are not taking. Pure science people are slowly getting reduced. Everybody wants IT. IT, that's all. IT or IT like the electronics or whatever. Pure science people are not, because it doesn't pay off. Similarly, everywhere in society, oh, this field doesn't give money, so that field will not be catered, that will not be attended by anybody. And this is called Varnasan. This is also another way of seeing the word Varnasankara. So what is the message given here? When dharma is not a prime factor in deciding our action, deciding our life partner, then there will be Varna Sankaraha, confusion of these social duties. And that will bring about further harmful consequences that Arjuna says in the next shloka. Sankaro narakayaiva Kulagnanam kulasya cha Patanti pitaro hyesham Luktapindodakakriyaha. So Arjuna is showing the harmful consequences of the war and this destruction of family structure. He says, when Kula Dharma is gone, Adharma will be overpowering the remaining members of the family, and because of that, there will be the Varna Sankaraha, confusion of these social duties, and because of that, Sankaraha Narakayaiva. The Sankara, the confusion of the duties. The duties are the occupations only based on Ragadveshas will lead to what? Narakaya. Will lead to Naraka, hell. When my life is governed only by my likes and dislikes, then I will be doing this Papa Karma. Because Ragadvesha pressure is so much that I don't mind compromising with Dharma. I don't mind doing what is not to be done. And when a person does what is not to be done, it generates one invisible result that is called papam. So what is papam? Papam is invisible result of the actions which are prohibited in Shastra. And that papam will lead to Naraka. Naraka means hell. Not only the life of a person will be hellish in this life itself, it is not the Naraka afterwards. In this life itself, we are seeing so many suicides. The people are committing suicide for this reason, that reason. We hear big celebrities. Celebrities also. Why? Because Dharma is not followed. Raga Dvesha based life will lead to destruction, misery. And that can be also called Naraka. Naraka means Dukkha. The Naraka means that which Nunati Klesham Prapayati. It is called Naraka. So that which gives Dukkha is Naraka. So in this life itself, there will be Naraka. Why? Because there is no inner satisfaction. There is no inner acceptance. And there is no family structure available to lean on. The people say, Swamiji, I need a shoulder to cry on. There will not be shoulders available. Because the family structure is gone. Otherwise, in olden days, whatever happens, my father is there, my mother is there, my uncle is there. That is to give a lot of stability. And we had this joint family structure, and therefore, children used to grow up in the atmosphere of security. When child has some problem, and even child is beaten by mother, suppose little bit, then child will go crying to his grandmother and say, my mom, she beat me. The grandmother gets a chance. Oh, she's like that only. And I will tell her. Child feels validated. And even, the child falls down and gets hurt. Then also she goes to the grandmother, and grandmother will beat little bit ground. Why this ground did like this to my grandchild? Child feels very irritated. Means there is someone to listen to my pain. That itself gives so much relief. There is someone to listen to my pain. That particular awareness makes me relatively relaxed. I have seen this. The people who have somebody with whom they can share their pain, they will be relatively relaxed. They will not generally commit suicide. But when they lose that confidence that somebody is there to listen to my pain, somebody is there to help me, when that confidence goes away, then person sometimes goes to that last step of committing suicide. Therefore, it is very important that there is stable family life, there is a stable social structure where these all duties are performed in a balanced manner. Otherwise, there is so much competition in some field. People have so much insecurity of losing the job. That is one of the stress causing factor. Because today I am going to the office and we do not know whether they will give me pink slip. They call pink slip, that you are no more required. They call pink slip. That fear is there. In India it is less perhaps, because in India is somehow we consider that this fellow even not working is okay, he will manage it somehow. But abroad it is so much tension. They may be earning a lot, but always insecurity. Because in one field there are so many people. And therefore what? Narakaya. People have to take sleeping pills. In those days, they perhaps required the waking up skills. Because they sleep very well. Nowadays, people can't sleep. So much is there. And then they will be seeing internet and all. Then further they lose sleep. Narakaya. The present life itself becomes Naraka. And because they have compromised with Dharma, they have done so much adharma because of ragadveshas. After this life also, Naraka. So, Naraka yeva sankaraha. For whom? Kulagnana. The destroyers of the family. And the Kula, which is affected because of this war. Kulasya. For the family which is affected because of losing the leader of the family. And the people who have destroyed the family of others, both of them will go to Naraka. So Kulagna means the people who have destroyed the family of others, because of that papam they will go to Naraka, and the family which is affected, they also will be having sankara, confusion of the duties, and therefore they also will go to Naraka. Because they will be given to adharma. Not only that, he says not only this present and future generation will be affected, even the past generation will be affected. How? Patanti pitaro hi esham. Esham, the people who are responsible for the destruction of family or people whose family has been destroyed, their pitaras, their forefathers, patanti. Patanti means fall. Fall means they will suffer. Why? Lupta pindo dakat kriyaha. Because they will be deprived of the Shraddha karma. Shraddha tarpana, which is done every month and every year on that particular tithi, that is called pindodaka kriya. Pinda means rice ball. Udaka means water. So every day tarpana, water is offered. And every year, these pindas are offered. That is called Pindodaka Kriya, Shraddha Tarpana Kriya. That will be lupta, will be lost. And according to Vedas, when a person leaves this body, he may go to Pitrulokas, where his nourishment will be done by the Shraddha and Tarpana done by his family members. Because they cannot earn punyam. But because of some papam or because of not having enough punyam, they may be deprived of nourishment. And that nourishment is sent by the children by doing the karmas. This is purely based on Shraddha. People ask this question, modern people ask this, Swamiji, how do you say that I am doing this offering water, I am doing spinda, then how it can reach? That is based on Shraddha. But modern technology will help us. You know that when our space shuttle is there in space, from here itself the control. There is no wire between the two. There is no wire. Still it happens. At certain level it happens. Similarly, here the karmic connection, because of the connection of this karma, what you do here, it will nourish them. And that is based on Shraddha, therefore it is called Shraddha. Shraddhaya kriyate iti Shraddha. So based on these activities, our forefathers will be nourished. Not only that, the person who is doing also will be blessed. Is doubly blessed. The person who is performing Shraddha and Tarpana, that person is blessed, and the person who is receiving also will be blessed. But when dharma is not there, role models are not there, the family traditions are not there, who is there to tell what to do? And therefore what? Pitrus will not receive this Pinda and Udaka, and therefore they also will suffer. So present generation will suffer, future generation will suffer, and the past generation also will suffer. So Arjuna is seeing so many problems. And therefore he says, we should not go for war. And then he says, if this type of situation continues, there will be complete confusion in the society at every level. Those details we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.